This guitar from the mid-1950s has had quite a bit of work done to it in the past. Some of the work is justified and considered a legitimate repair to keep the guitar playable, but some of the horrors that lie within this guitar is something I did not see coming and took me to places that I never want to go again. So buckle up and join me for a repair that no tech wants to experience. Stick around. So what kind of guitar are we talking about here? This is a K23 Jumbo style guitar. It was made in the 1950s in Chicago. Around this time is when the Harmony Company was buying up the competitors such as K, Airline, and Regal, and then started manufacturing guitars for mail order companies like Sears and Montgomery Ward in their plant. It has a 17-inch wide body, spruce top, curly maple back and sides, metal reinforced maple neck. It has a shell celluloid Art Deco style headpiece, white celluloid and tortoise binding, rosewood fingerboard that's quite possibly Brazilian. This guitar was K's answer to Gibson's Super Jumbo model. This is going to be quite a beautiful guitar when it's completed, but I also know it's not going to be an easy challenge. So let's get started. Okay, just measuring the action, 12th fret, 8/64 and 7/64, and these frets are low. It's hard to measure frets accurately. The best way I found is to put a fret rocker on the frets and then go under it with a feeler gauge. This seems to be 24 thousandths, 25 thousandths. Bridge has got to come off. I'm going to build a new one. Look at that saddle leaning. One thing that concerns me about taking this neck off, there's no doubt there's a couple of screws in there. But where are the screw heads? Some people do some wacky stuff. I mean, it's crazy what some people do. I think I'm going to start with the bridge. This is going to be a problem, but this is a lot easier to get off here. It's got a couple screws. Heat this up and take that off. So let me get that first. I mean, it's kind of loose, but I'm going to heat this up just so I don't have any issues ripping up the top. Probably just take this pickguard right off so nothing happens to it. I'll give this about 5 minutes. That came off nice and clean. Now the hard part. Yep, you guessed it. Let's figure this out. Let's just test this. Wow, that's pretty loose. Let me even see if I need to add heat. Okay, yeah, let me put a little heat on that. I want to try to keep the heat away from that plastic. This plastic will melt, or it could be flammable. Let's see if I get any movement. Yeah, you can see that's moving. You can see that joint flexing a little bit too. But those bolts are holding it, and that is the problem. Yeah, those bolts are still there. I was hoping they'd go away. Let me think on this. Let me think. One thing I don't understand is how do they even drill those in there and screw them in? I can't think of how they did that. Unless they're putting it at an angle from out here. Doesn't quite seem right though. Well, the only way I know to get those out is using an easy out. And I don't have one, so I guess I'm going to the store to get one. But the other problem is, how do I even get it in there to drill this out? Man, I got a lot of problems today. This is not working out. All right. Well, I guess I'm off to the store. I went and got this little device that goes at the end of a drill. Wouldn't quite flex to get perpendicular to this block. This is going to be my second attempt. The first one with that flexi tube wasn't quite right. Let's try this. Try to get it by eye here. Problem is I can't put a center punch. I don't think I can anyway. Let me try and get a center punch on it. Try to get the drill started. I see metal chips. Those do not look like screws. I hope that's not some sort of truss rod or steel enforced rod or something. Why would it come all the way through the heel block? The mystery continues. Really seems like if I can take this off, the mysteries will probably be solved. I think that might be the ticket. Trying to drill that out. It almost seems like it's a steel reinforcement. It's in a weird spot though. It's possible. I don't know why it would go through the heel block like that though. Man, I just don't know. Here's a thought. What if somebody went to put bolts in there, they drilled through the heel block, hit the steel reinforcement, and they hit it twice, and then in that third spot, they got through and installed a dowel, because those don't look like screws. And if they were screws, you'd see the heads of them. I don't know. Here's another thought. Why don't you hit that like button? Because not only will it help me, but it could help somebody else see this video that's having the same damn problem. So, I think going through the top is the only way to do it. I'm gonna have to cut this fingerboard extension off. Gotta peel back this side binding, make a cut, take this fret out, I'll just take that fret out, make a cut right there. Cutting off the extension is kind of a last resort, so I figured I'd try to get some steam down into the dovetail and see if this neck will come loose anyway. So I'll go ahead and give that a shot, and if that doesn't work, then I'll go ahead and take the fingerboard extension off and go through the top. Well, it sure feels like those screws are in there, so I think the only option I have here is to remove this top of the fingerboard. Okay, now I got the binding peeled back and it didn't break, thank God. Now I can go ahead and cut it right at this fret mark here. Now, moment of truth. Is it going to hit steel? Yes. It's hitting steel about 1.5 inches down. That's just about where that first hole is there. Anyway, okay, so the steel definitely is there. So my worst case scenario fears have come true, but I have discovered it, and now it's a matter of cutting the bolts off, and then I can pull that neck out of there pretty easily. Get a different angle, I think. What scares me is there's 2 screws, and I don't know if I've cut through one and still have to do the whole other one. Or is it done? I think I'm going to put some more steam in there and see if I can figure out what's going on. So what I'm going to do is drill 2 holes right through the dovetail, right through the side. See water coming out the bottom here on the inside, as well as under here. So that's all good. Still not 100% sure that it's disconnected from that bolt. It's moving, but it's not dropping. So the bolt might still be connected, or that second bolt possibly. Feels like it's gone right through it. Broke my saw. Let me put the jig on here and see if I can put a little pressure from the heel. Okay, well, it is out. So what exactly are we looking at here? There's the two bolts. Yep, two honking bolts in there, right next to each other for some reason. I guess one wasn't enough. Okay, well that's it for this week. Tune in next week for part 2 as this restoration continues. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you like this kind of content, subscribe to my channel for more. See you.